What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike from Taco Moto Co. here. I'd like to introduce you to a new product. This is a trailside product that we've come out with, and something too you can use in the shop. This is just a real general, really good all-purpose thing to have. So a lot of guys will have a problem where they need to transfer fuel out of their tank, and when you're running one of these injected bikes, you know what a pain it is to transfer fuel over. What some fellas will do is they'll pull the quick disconnect off the tank, and they'll stick the male end of a connector into the fuel pump side, the tank outlet port on the side, and then they'll just hit the on switch on their bike 100 times to try to get gas out of it. So this is going to solve that problem. And the other added benefit of this little kit here is it allows you to test your fuel pump. So what we'll do here is we'll connect our power leads, our alligator clips here, to our battery. And once we've got that connected, then we're going to put this on the connector of the fuel pump. So I'm going to remove the bike connector. When I put this on, the pump runs. So this is a fail-safe way to test your pump to see, so you can keep this in the shop, and then when you ever suspect that you have a pump issue and you're trying to diagnose, is it a bike issue or a pump issue, then you can plug that in and run your pump. The other thing you can do with this is you can then look inside of your fuel tank, and a lot of times you might have a leak with the fuel filter. Notice in there we've got a metal fuel filter, so we're not going to have the leak issue. And you can see if you've got fuel spraying out of one of your hoses, or if you've got a plastic filter, you can see if that's been split. So you can use this as a diagnostic tool. Now, the other thing you can use this for is transferring fuel. So the kit comes with 1.5 feet of hose here, and that's going to be good enough if you're going to transfer fuel, like say to a water bottle. So everybody typically in their backpack has a water bottle, or a lot of times when you are out there, you're going to either be carrying an empty bottle with you to transfer gas, or you might find one on the trail. So you're going to disconnect your quick coupling here at your tank, pull that apart, and then you're going to insert this. Now there's 2 tips to let you know about. This little O-ring right here is, and on your stock one too, these are susceptible to being rolled and then tear as you drive that in there. Because this is got gas in there, and gas is a solvent, it acts as like alcohol would, and it dries out the surface of any material that's trying to slide over the top of it. So I just so happen to have a little bit of wheel bearing grease here, so I'm just gonna slime up the end of this thing as I pop it in. And there's one other thing to let you know about. So the fuel pressure, you've got 50 psi sitting here. There is a quick disconnect coupling right here, and it has a spring-loaded plunger that's holding that pressure back. So when I press this in, I'm going to release that pressure. I guess if I was outside, I would want to make sure, so here's a little tip that you might want to consider doing. Put that through like your foot peg, or have a helper do this with you, and then stick your bottle into the bottom of that, so that hose now is right there. So that's all set up and stationary. So when I plunge this in there, any gas that's under pressure is going to just go out into that hose. It's not going to go on the ground. It's not going to spray on you. So now that I've got this set up like that, I'm just going to go up here on top and plug in the connector. And once that's plugged in, I'm now pumping gas. I'll move this out a little bit so you can kind of see how that's flowing out there. Okay, so under pressure, I've got a nice stream of gas flowing out of here, and I can fill this bottle up and then pour that into my buddy's gas tank. It only takes a couple of seconds here to get enough gas to transfer over. So once you've got whatever it is that you want, you can disconnect it. And you may have a couple of dribbles of gas that are going to come out of the end of this hose, but it's not going to continue to run or drip. You see there that it's basically the fuel flow is kind of stopped. So I can come up to the donor bike. Well, this is a donor bike, but I can go up to my buddy who's out of gas, and then I can just transfer that gas into his tank. Now there's another thing you might want to consider doing with this kit here. If you wanted to, you could put a much longer hose on here. We're only going to give you 1.5 feet because that's all I want to carry, or anybody really wants to carry in their backpack. Nobody wants 4 feet of hose. But you could easily get a bunch of hose and then carry it with you, and that would allow you to transfer gas from one tank to another. You could theoretically also take the empty tank off the bike, set it here on the ground next to the donor bike, and then shove that in the gas tank and then fill it up that way. So you've got all kinds of different options. You could put a longer hose on there. You could gang a couple of pieces of hose together. All your buddies could carry individual, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet of hose themselves, gang them all together, or just transfer it into a water bottle. So you can get creative as however you think is best. But with this little setup, you can do multiple things. You can transfer bike on the trail, transfer gas on the trail under power through the pump, and test your pump. So this is a great little multi-use tool. Let us know if you'd like to pick one up. You can grab it on our web store. Also, if you have any questions or comments about anything that we cover, anything we talk about, or anything we carry, let us know. Follow us on the socials, like and subscribe. Go out and get some adventure.